what the players want at the end of the day, they want the experience. They want the entertainment. Well, we are in showbiz. They want to have fun, right? So they go to the casino, they get one kind of an experience. They go on online casino, they get something not exactly the same. And our goal is to gradually try through technology, through amazing product, through looking into the details, to working with passion and love, try to bring those two together, the land base and the online, so you can go and have an amazing time in the casino, but you can also stay home or wherever you are and get at least a spark of that experience and maybe much more into your home. And this is what we're trying to do all the time.
This podcast is sponsored by Pragmatic Solutions, the player account management platform chosen by today's smart betting and gaming operators. Don't let technical constraints delay you from achieving your business goals. Expand your business, boost your margins, and dominate the market in any leading regulated jurisdiction with our powerful, flexible, and secure iGaming platform. Enjoy its extensive marketing tools, compliance protection, real-time data, and a wide portfolio of over 1,000 industry providers. It's time to upgrade your technology. Let Pragmatic Solutions show you the modern approach. Visit pragmatic.solutions and join the smart thinkers.
This podcast is brought to you by Pragmatic Play, a leading game developer providing player favorites to the most successful brands across the industry. With an award-winning multi-product portfolio of slots, live casino, bingo, virtual sports, and more, Pragmatic Play is powering up new possibilities of play through one single API. Visit pragmaticplay.com and discover your favorite every time.
Bingo, bango, bongo. Shimon Akad, COO of Playtech. It is a pleasure and an honor to have you here, Shimon. How are you doing today?
I'm doing excellent. Thank you very much, and very much appreciated to be together with you. Thank you.
Likewise, Shimon. We met up in G2E a couple of months ago. I had a really interesting conversation, and that is kind of the background to the podcast that we have here today. We are going to talk, we're going to do a little bit of a deep dive into Playtech itself, but obviously talk about the major partnership that you have set with MGM. But as a first question here, Shimon, I mean, you are celebrating 10 years as COO in the company. You have 14 years in Playtech now. It's becoming teenage years so that you've been spending your time here in Playtech. So talk about your journey with the company over these 14 years and how you and Playtech have developed over this time.
Yes, gladly. I did. I joined Playtech in 2011, became its COO, so responsible for the day-to-day operations in 2015, and very, very close to celebrating, God willing, the 10-year as a CEO. I'll tell you, it passed very quickly. It just, I don't know, I guess this is how life is, especially when you are really enjoying. I love what I do. I'm very passionate about it. I think it has to do with the fact that many years ago in my career, I actually started in a betting shop. I don't know how many people know it, but I was a very young man in a betting shop in the industry. That's how I started in the industry many years ago. But then at some point, I went on to study law, focusing more on business. And then at some point, I changed again, and I went to actually become a C programmer, and then a Java developer, when object-oriented came onwards. And then I was always thinking, what should I do with my life? Should I stay with high tech? Should I go to the gaming industry? And then it just happened in 2011. I found out Playtech, which is kind of a combination of everything put together, because it's the gambling industry, but it's with high tech. And, being the CEO as well, you get to do a lot of business. So when all those things you love come together, you become very passionate about it, and 10 years fly just like that. And I think one of the amazing things here in Playtech as well is when you look at it, I'm here 13, 14 years, but you would see people that are coming close to the 20 year in Playtech. So it's like, once you come in, a lot of people love it and stay, and hopefully more and more will be like that. So you kind of become a big family. And that's how we see our day-to-day here in Playtech. And I think that's kind of our secret sauce to keeping the company alive and going well. And what we try to do, obviously, all the time, is make sure that we are up to date, innovative, listening to the market, listening to the operators, listening to changes in technology, and trying to bring all of that together into the next thing of what you do all the time. Because, the big companies, to stay there for generations and to stay for decades, you always need to think, what's the next thing I'm going to learn? And I think the one thing that's kind of common to myself and definitely to our management team is we wake up every morning and say, what's the next thing? What's the new thing we're going to learn today? And I think as long as you keep that spirit between us and management and to the very last employee in Playtech, I think that's kind of your secret sauce to make sure that you will stay very strong and very good also in the future.
Yeah, that is definitely my observation too with Playtech, that the company is constantly changing and evolving, and Playtech is never shy to interact in M&A, whether it being buying companies or selling companies. I mean, you had a quite
100%.
active year on both fronts in this year, of course, as well. And the recent sale of Snaitech being the biggest example here, of course. It feels a little bit like Playtech is changing at the moment now more into the B2B segment, let's say. I don't know if you want to talk about where the company is heading.
Correct. First and foremost, Playtech was founded as a B2B, right? We are a tech company in the gaming industry. We're a B2B, we're a supplier. This is our main focus. But obviously, when we see fantastic business opportunities, we make sure that we take them. And what we saw in Snaitech and Fabio and his fantastic management team some 7 years ago, we saw a fantastic opportunity. We saw a market that, in our opinion, was just about to break and expand in online. It was just the beginning on online. Everybody thought that Italy will not be just like the rest of the world or like the UK. And we thought it was a fantastic opportunity for a business that's mostly land-based to gradually become online. And I think this is the main reason, again, together with the fantastic management team of Fabio's, that we went to the M&A with Snai. And of course, when the deal was done in the beginning, we didn't get a lot of credit from a lot of people. And some people were concerned about it. But I'm happy to say that everybody now look at it retrospectively and, of course, are extremely happy with the results and the deal going forward. And I'm sure that the Italian market will continue to do fantastically well also going into the future. But it's true that we want to focus more and more on the B2B side and how we see a lot of potential in growth in many, many markets. And maybe later on as well, we can expand a little bit more on where we see the future going in that sense.
Yeah, this is a wider topic as well, because Playtech is involved with a lot of different verticals, a lot of different markets.
Correct.
Is this a wider push to kind of consolidate the products within Playtech? I mean, you're the COO, right? Like this is your job is to tie everything together in the organization.
Yes, our love is we call it the Amazon model, right? When you come to Playtech, we would love to supply you with everything that you need. It does not mean that you don't need also content from others. You definitely need content from all the industry, but that's part of what our obligation is. Our obligation is to supply you with top-notch content from us and top-notch content from all the best suppliers around the market, alongside the best platform, the IMS, which we consider the PAM, the player account management, alongside our casino, alongside our live casino, poker and bingo and the rest of the products. And so when you come, we can actually support you as an operator with everything that you need, alongside additional services if you are a beginner or if you're in a market that you need some more help than that. So we really try to give you the comprehensive solution, but we can also cut and paste anything that you need. Everything is modular, right? So if you only need this and that or that and this, we are completely flexible about it. And I think that is probably the biggest change that we've done in the last, say, 7 years or so, is that we are coming with a completely flexible commercial model. And the point is that we are here to support and build the operator's business together with the operator. And when the operator does extremely well, it is our success. And that's how we see it. And I think one of the amazing things as well is that you see a lot of the operators now realizing is that once they build the marketing team, they can actually use that in more than one jurisdiction. And now, but for the past 6, 7, again, 8 years ago, there is a massive expansion of all those big operators that were super good in one market to start to go into other markets. And our goal is to expand with each of them. So if you look actually at what we do on a day-to-day basis, you would see that a big portion of our day-to-day is not only launch with new operators, but actually launch with operators that are expanding their operation into multi-jurisdictional, and some of them are in tens of different jurisdictions together with us. And this is kind of a massive push to the business and the online industry.
Yeah, fascinating, Shimon. And let's dive into perhaps the biggest market in the world, which is the North American market, of course. And Playtech were quite early on with its ambitions to conquer the newly launched North American market a couple of years ago. But it didn't come without its challenges. And only kind of recently, it feels like Playtech is now gaining a foothold of the market. You have some really exciting partnerships now with MGM and others. Can you talk a little bit about the journey in the US, where you're heading, and what is the ambition for Playtech in the United States?
Sure. Actually, we joined the US a little bit later in the race, in that sense. But we are very persistent people, and once we decide to do something, we try to do the best we can over a period of time. And what we did is we built a strategy that's starting with kind of what we call the Amazon model. We came with our content, we came with our live, and we came with our platform, and that's just the beginning of what we do and how we do. We started with some very loyal operators that are working on Playtech's platform, and I'm very happy to say as well that we were chosen Platform of the Year in the US. So our PAM, our IMS were chosen as the leading platform, which for us is fantastic news. And I'm also very happy to say that we've just launched in the last month 2 new states together with Delaware North. And we will continue to launch with them more states because they are multi-jurisdictional in that sense. And that's on our platform and on our sports. So in that sense, we are continuously always pushing and expanding the business. And 2024, we saw an amazing achievement in the sense that we probably almost launched with each and every one of the operators in the US, from the biggest ones to anyone almost that's there. And a few things left for 2025, which is always good, keeps us busy. And we saw an incredible uplift in our slots. Happy to say that in the monthly reports, you now start to see the Playtech content in the top 10, in the top 20. I think you would also start to see us with very nice numbers when it comes to live, which is also growing very nicely for us. And again, when it comes to platform, we are definitely there. Onwards to 25, we plan to add at least poker, maybe another product as well. But the challenge in the US that we say it's a North American market and it's the biggest, one of the challenges there is that actually we talk about a lot of jurisdictions. So once you decide to come to the US, it will take time because you need to make sure you get licensed in New Jersey and Pennsylvania and Michigan and so on and so on and so on. So it takes time. But once you do it, once you invest that kind of part of the beginning, and once you are there in a couple of the jurisdictions, then the operators find it easier to work with you, and then your business starts to lift off. So I can say today that we are very happy with the progress that we've made in the US in the last 2-3 years, especially 24. And I think we will continue to do really, really well there as well. But, North America is not only US, it's also Canada with Ontario and Alberta coming, which is expanding and doing very well. And as a whole, I think the entire industry is doing very well in many more markets. But US by far has an incredible potential. It also draws a lot of attention worldwide in that sense.
Yeah, and I think potential maybe is the right word here to use because they still only see like 7 states that are live with iGaming at this point in time.
Correct, and which probably 3 of them generate 90% of the income still. So it's true. Right. We estimate, right, just like all of us, that the US in the next decade will continue to probably regulate gaming, and we will continue to see massive numbers come. Even if it's state by state, it still is the US as a whole. We'll continue to see massive numbers. This is why we're making sure that we have a local office, that we have local people, local management, local team. It just shows the importance of how big and important and potential, just like you said, Pierre, the US market is.
Yes, we're still in the early days, let's say.
Early days.
Early and exciting days. So Shimon, another part here, of course, is the major partnership that you have set with MGM, not just with BetMGM, the
MGM Resorts,
retailer, but actually MGM as a parent company. Can you talk about the partnership itself, what it means to Playtech and to MGM?
Yes, we always had the passion to do something absolutely amazing in the capital, city of the world when it comes to gaming, which is Las Vegas, right? And we started talks with the MGM Resorts a couple of years ago, and we were extremely happy that in their RFP, they've chosen us as their trusted partner when it comes to technology and product. And the concept is a very simple concept, yet completely innovative, something that the market was just absolutely thrilled to hear when we came up with the news, is take a tables directly from the floor, from the gaming floor in Las Vegas, right? And just put them online. So if you're now sitting in London, anywhere you are in regulated market, even in Mexico or London or any of the other regulated markets that allow it, you would be able to sit in the comfort of your home without flying 12 hours and just play a table on the floor in Vegas. You can see the players walking by. You can see other players on the table with you. You can hear the sound. You will have the whole atmosphere and everything around it delivered straight to your comfort of your home or your phone or whatever you want to use. And that dream was ours for a very long time, and we were extremely, extremely happy when we started the conversations with the Christian from MGM Resorts and the team to see that they think so much alike like us, together with us. And together, when you have two sides who are extremely synced and work together, all the fantastic ideas start to come out. So we're starting with what do we do and how do we do? And we put the tables both in the Bellagio and the MGM Resort, and each of them was a little bit different. If you look at the product, you would see there's little things that make a big difference. We're trying to think of every little detail to make sure that the experience to the player is amazing. And when we came out with it together with MGM Resorts, with all the announcements, the feedback we got from the different operators worldwide was absolutely amazing. People were calling us nonstop to say, when would you open this market? We want to be first with this product because our players would love to have the Vegas experience on their desk, in their table, at their home. And this is, and in fact, even last week, I got someone calling, listen, we just opened, we got license. We really want to make sure, can you do this market for us? And we said, sure, why not? And this is how the atmosphere and the feeling goes. And the feeling was from the players and operators alike that the market is yearning all the time for innovation. Market really, really wants what the players want at the end of the day. They want the experience. They want the entertainment. Well, we are in showbiz. They want to have fun, right? So they go to the casino, they get one kind of an experience. They go on online casino, they get something not exactly the same. And our goal is to gradually try through technology, through amazing product, through looking into the details, to working with passion and love, try to bring those two together, the land-based and the online, so you can go and have an amazing time in a casino, but you can also stay home or wherever you are and get at least a spark of that experience and maybe much, much more into your home. And this is what we're trying to do all the time. Innovate, and hopefully that innovation is something that the players would love.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting concept, that's for sure, and a major achievement to be able to set a deal like that with a major organization like MGM. It's testament
Absolutely.
Perhaps to the professionals that you have within Playtech. And I wanted to ask around that too. If you were to compare to do business in Europe versus in the US with these behemoths, how is it in general to establish yourself in a market like the US and creating those relationships and even to create those opportunities and possibilities to work with major organizations like MGM? It must be a different world in comparison to the work that you do in Europe, for example, different culture and so on.
Yes, I have to admit it is. It's I call it a different universe sometimes. So firstly, I did grow up in the US for 2 years as a boy there. My mom did the postdoctorate in New Jersey in Rutgers University. So we actually lived in New Jersey a couple of years as a younger me when I was a young teenage there. So I have a little bit of experience there, but yes, there is a massive difference between how they do business in Europe to how they do business in the US. And you can even see now, as the US president, you can see that it's a completely different approach to how things are done. And we are also, as in Playtech, we are very well known in Europe. So wherever you go in Europe, people will say, oh, you Playtech, okay, we know you. In the US, obviously you're a newcomer, you're the guest, and you have to take the first leap of faith and you have to prove yourself. But we are always there for the long run, right? Our goal is to be, your trusted supplier, to be your infrastructure, to be your technology partner and your product partner. And the only way to do it is build up relations gradually over some period of time. So that's why the beginning was difficult, as you mentioned in the beginning, which was spot on. It's not only the fact you need to regulate in so many regulations, you actually need to build your brand, you need to prove yourself, you need to show that you are actually there for the longer time. But I think that now probably everybody knows that we are absolutely, absolutely serious about investing in the US and doing a lot of business there. And again, we were super proud to be chosen by the magnificent MGM Resorts as their trusted partner in that sense. And again, the volume and the noise and the love that we've received from everyone around it is amazing. And I think we'll continue to do more and more. This is just the beginning, right? Because right now you have a few tables running there, but we want to make sure that we run the game shows from the years. Remember, take all the amazing experience you have, like in Alice in Wonderland, that people just love. It's one of our game shows that are actually exploding on the net. Put something amazing like that in Vegas. Combine, the best online with the best land-based, and see where it goes into the future. These are the things we want to do going forward. We are building a complete studio there, so the whole experience for the player will be the studio experience, which is even better than dual tables, but still from the gaming floor in Vegas, where you can look around and you see the slots and you see the people moving and you see the whole ambience and atmosphere and the whole vibe you can get from Vegas. So there's so much more that we want to do there going forward, and obviously we hope that, that the industry will love it.
Yeah, let's stay on this a little bit more, because we spoke about this a couple of months ago too, Shimon. The opportunity that there is for online to innovate within the land-based sector. We were the ones who innovated with the game show concept from an online perspective, right? And how amazing would it be to offer a game show live in Vegas on the floor for players to take part, perhaps, and so on and so forth. I don't know. How do you think about the innovation in that sense? Is that perhaps part of the discussions here? I don't know how much we can talk about this and so on. But when you see this partnership evolving, do you also see that these game shows perhaps will be available to the players in the casino?
100%. I'll tell you this. Firstly, it's true that the land-based industry is a super conservative industry, right? You can see, and again, in that sense, I can share that my father and brother, they are partners in land-based casinos for many, many decades and decades. And you can walk into the casinos and they will refurbish the carpets and they will change the chairs but the games, the content will stay the same, right? Obviously, the slots will evolve gradually over time, but the roulette is the roulette and the blackjack is the blackjack. And even if you try to bring something new into a very conservative land-based industry, not easy. And if you will ask people what really changed in the last 50 years in the land-based industry, not a lot. But when it comes to online, I think the pace is much faster. Things are moving much faster. There is technology. Technology enables you to deliver something that's kind of a different experience. Think of the iPhone for the first time. People didn't think that people would play games on the phone, right? People now play all the time games on the phone, right? So when technology is there, the experience is different. And when the experience is different, it's smooth, it's fun. People just do it. It becomes natural for them. So we see online changing at a quite rapid pace, and land-based changing very, very slow. But what's happening is that the best of the best from the online, right, that's kind of new, which mostly has to do in many cases around shows, like Alice in Wonderland, or games that can move a little bit faster and have a little bit more opportunity to win around them. So a little bit more jackpot style. And those faster games and the showbiz coming together, that's what moving online a lot. And we see that the live products are actually evolving in that sense to be faster games and a little bit more entertaining games. And we finally start to see also now that land-based is saying, wait, if this works really so well in online, why don't we do it also here in land-based? So I actually think that while in the beginning, online took everything from land-based, I think because the pace in online is so fast and there is so much more innovation that some of it works, some of it doesn't, but doesn't mean the one that does work and stays and sticks on and the players love it, there is no real reason that land-based will not take it and adopt it as well. So we definitely think together that we will be seeing shows on the floor in Vegas, both for local players and for the online going forward, and the studio there. And there is a lot to do there. And I'm certain that, from all this innovation, some of the things will stick and the players will love, and they will be there for generations to come to say, hey, the first time they did it was actually on the floor in MGM with Vegas, with Playtech together. And this is what we hope.
I cannot agree more with Shimon. And I mean, especially in the US, considering the culture that the Americans have growing up with game shows on the TV, The Price is Right, Jeopardy, like so on and so forth. And they have that part of their culture to watch game shows. And I can just imagine the first casino that takes that big leap and innovates by producing an actual live game show on the casino floor. I imagine it being kind of like what the sport books look like today in the casino floor, where you kind of have almost like an audience row with screens in front of you, and you have the game show in front of the audience, and you'll be able to participate, of course, in the games. Throw some entertainment in there. When there's a big win, there's confetti raining down from the ceiling. The first one who's gonna who would be able to produce a show like that will be on in all media, and in tier one, it's going to be on the TV. It's going to be such a big innovation and such a big leap that it's going to be known by every single American. I'm sure of it. Like it's just an opportunity waiting to happen.
You're so, in our view, you're so spot on and right. I can't even comment and say more. Definitely not on some of the names you gave. I'm sorry, some of the stuff I will keep with us, but I will tell you that God willing, in the near future, you will see how close you were to what is actually planned. Well done to you.
Keep me in mind for the invitation for the inaugural opening. That's all I'm asking for. That's all
100%. Gladly. We'd love.
Brilliant. Now I can tell, of course, that you guys are extremely passionate about this. And Edo Haitin, who is the CEO of Playtech Live, of course, is a good friend of mine, and he's almost like a child sometimes, of excitement within the live sphere and all the things that goes on there. So really exciting.
There is only one way to do it when you're passionate about it. They ask me a lot of times, what do you think, your best employee would be? What would you like the smartest person? I say, no, I need the people who come with their heart. They're passionate. You don't need to be the fastest, the strongest, the smartest. If you come and you put your love into the business and you're passionate about it, that's it. That's what I need. That's the most important thing I can always ask from anyone, from myself, or from anyone here in Playtech. So again, 100% in agreement with you on that.
Brilliant. Shimon, how do you think about innovation in general in the online gambling industry and the gambling industry as an entirety? You pointed out before, of course, that online is much faster moving than the conservative land-based side, but nonetheless, we are still playing real-based game in the online sphere after 100 years of slot machines, and
Sure.
And sometimes innovation can feel a bit slow-moving to some extent in industry, and in other ways it can feel that we are heading places. But when you think about innovation, what comes to mind, especially looking forward in the next couple of years?
So I think there's a lot of points into innovation and what comes forward and how it goes. And I think where the market is going is you start to see that, yes, we did start from the land-based industry in online, right? We took everything from there. But you see that in online, there is a demand, right, by the players for games at a little bit faster pace. You can see also in chess, in the chess world, right? They used to have the games, and the games used to be over 2 or 3 days, and today they do fast games, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, and you see the champions playing it the whole time, right? There is also a demand, something that's a little bit more exciting and moves a little bit faster. And if it didn't went well, it's okay. It's not 3 days of pain. It happens next. So I think that almost all the products you see today, they've kind of metamorphosed, they've changed in the last couple of years, and they will continue to change to products that are a little bit more exciting, more faster in how they do, and that they have some kind of an upset, some kind of a mini jackpot, something that you can win that will be exciting, not just win and every time lose double two, win less, lose your bet, win times two. That's a little bit boring for kind of the younger generation. And when I'm younger, I mean 20 and above, not God forbid anything else, right? Or maybe 30 and above, to where I am, it's also young. So in that sense, the younger generations are looking into something that's much more moving faster in terms of pace and how it goes. So I think this is where the industry is going as well. In that sense, you would also see it in slots. People are not looking for more complex slots. They're looking for faster, maybe simpler slots in that sense. And you would see some of those newer markets to the online industry. You would see them actually starting with very, very simple slots. You would even see for the first time, not really slots, games that are not slots at all in that sense and are doing extremely well. And that was kind of a topic, 5, 10, 15 years ago. Would that ever happen? It happened big time. So you see that there is kind of an entrance level, right? That is super easy, simple slot, not even slots. And then people go into the super easy slots and the easy slots. And then maybe they move into the kind of what we used to, the 3x5, 5x5, something that's a little bit more. There's like a gradual pave into it. But that beginning of fast moving games is a lot of what the industry is looking. And that is coupled together with technology that in terms of streaming and the live experience, become something that's just gradually better and better and much, much faster and much more smoother in its experience and entertaining. And in essence, people talk about, RNG casino or live, or they will talk about other products, poker or bingo. It actually, the way I see it, everything will gradually become live. Everything will become more and more of that streaming, much more fun experience. Doesn't matter what the product is. Its technology will be based on that kind of a live experience that probably will come at some point with some kind of an AR, like a better feeling. Not something that will disconnect you completely, but something that will probably put you in a place where you will feel now that you can walk. You're walking on the floor in Vegas. You can hear them, the sounds. You can feel them literally, maybe not smell, but almost everything else in terms of senses. And then you can join the table, but will not necessarily disconnect you from your reality, because then you will kind of lose it. And I think this is where the world is going. And then all the content that we see will be probably delivered through that channel, and gradually get you there to some place that will make you feel much more immersive in going forward. So I think, simpler, faster games definitely is a beginning, and definitely in younger markets, together with, with very simple technology, because also it needs to move faster, right? Together to the more complex, mature markets, going into something that's more immersive in terms of technology, and people can actually consume something more demanding. And I think that what you see is that different parts of the world will probably need kind of a little bit different focus solution. And again, this is what, what we should do as well. In the Amazon model, again, that we do always make sure that we can cater for the simple products, making sure we can cater for the middle ones, and definitely also for the high-end products where they are consumed, such as in the US. So this is kind of going forward.
Yeah, brilliant. So maybe the Playtech metaverse is not too far off. Than in other words.
I don't know. Last time somebody tried the metaverse, the stock crashed 70%, which was a fantastic opportunity if you invested, because you went all the way back up. But I won't say metaverse, but I think the world will go there, right? And obviously the tech industry will go there. And when tech industry will go there, obviously the gambling industry and the online gambling industry will be part of it.
Yeah, brilliant. And it's hard to talk about the future and trends without mentioning AI. And you mentioned it briefly here just before. How does Playtech think about AI at the moment and perhaps in the future? I mean, one part where AI has been very helpful within the game space is the game production itself to generate images, videos, so on and so forth, and lean more on AI to make the process of creating games more efficient. Is this something that Playtech is leaning into as well? How do you think about AI and the use cases that it will bring to your company now and in the future?
True. I think in our last technology meeting with our CTO, there were at least 7 different material points within Playtech that actually using now AI and doing much better in how they do. You mentioned one, right? Which is obviously the way you create games today in terms of content is much easier, much faster if you use AI, obviously in a smart, in a responsible manner. But you can run it and you can execute it, and you can deliver something in a much faster pace. And also developers themselves, when they develop today, I mean, it's not the days of Shimon developing on C and extremely happy when he's moving to object-oriented and Java. It's the world today is much different. Today you run code, the AI can check the code for you, can correct it for you, can do a lot of things in that sense. So there's different points within Playtech of how we do and how we run the business much faster and how we work with it. But I'm actually much more excited and looking forward to see when AI will be incorporated as part of the products. So part of the outcome where the end user, the player, will actually see and feel it, right? So today you're still playing, say live, you're still playing with a person. Or if you're playing RNG, you're playing, there's nobody there. But obviously at some point there will be an AI that you can be playing with, against, together, in different modes, in different ways. So there is a lot of, I think that the world is still a lot to evolve, and I think we will see AI not only as part of helping to produce a product, but actually being part of the end product itself and going forward. And I think that would be some very exciting times for the industry. Lots of things to do here. Lots of exciting stuff coming. It's never boring in our industry. Never. Sure. And the industry keeps on growing, keeps on opening new markets. More and more markets regulate, not to mention Brazil, just now in the 1st of January. But alongside so many other markets in the LATAM world and elsewhere, we're lucky people, Pierre. We're in the right place.
Yeah, that's what keep the lights on here next to Theo, the constant change in this industry. That means that we have things to talk about, so it never gets boring. And just on that note, Brazil regulating here after the new year. What's Playtech's thought on Brazil itself? What's the strategy heading into that market?
Again, we think it's a massive opportunity for everyone. We see all the big guys, all the big operators already there doing very, very well. I think I saw more than 70 licenses approved to launch already on the 1st of January. A lot of them, of course, most of them will be also doing with Playtech, which is fantastic for us. We think the market there is only in its infancy. It's just the beginning of that market. It's a massive, massive market. And again, it's amazing to see the difference in product type consumption compared to, say, again, the US, the other markets we mentioned before, right? And you would see different types. You would see big numbers there and big numbers there, but different type of product consumption, and some alike as well. And that's kind of the interesting stuff when you come and you analyze it with the BI and the team, and they say they come with all those intelligence and say, look, this is what works here, that's what works here. It's amazing to see different. That's what share between them. This is kind of the info and the intel we collect all the time, and based on that, we kind of hope we can predict what's the next thing to do, and hopefully we're right about it as well. Sometimes yes, sometimes, we try again. It's okay.
Brilliant. Final question for you here today, Shimon. Where do you see Playtech in 3 years' time? Where is the company heading?
I hope, listen, we're working very, very hard, right? We are working very hard. We're very passionate what we do. I think we will be focusing a lot on B2B. Our goal is to expand the business as much as possible. We definitely want to make sure we stay ahead when it comes to the products and technology. We're putting a huge amount of money yearly, every year, into the R&D, into technology to make sure that we are the preferred and trusted supplier of as many operators as want to work with us there. And I think we will be continuing to do that. I think some of the stuff that we will be doing in the next 3 years continue to expand the jurisdictions and the countries where we work in terms of the business, but also in that sense, we see the joint ventures, the partnerships, such as in Caliente, such as we used to have in William Hill in the past. We see them as highly, highly interesting and motivating for us commercially, and we will probably continue to do those also going forward, because we see that we start, with very, with some investment, and we grow the business over the years, and then it becomes something massive for our forward. So we definitely think that we will continue to do those also into the future.
Amazing, Shimon. It's been a fantastic discussion here to learn more about Playtech and the exciting journey that you have ahead of you. Thank you so much for giving your time here close to the holidays. And on that note, I wish you great holidays and speak to you soon.
Thank you very much for having me. And again, I want to wish you and all your audience, the best of holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, happy whatever you're celebrating. Take some time off, with your loved ones and your families. And I wish you all the best. And once again, thank you very much for having me. All the best. Thank you, Pierre.
Great, Andy. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.